All right, welcome back to Big Board. Not sure how much of a video will get done. We may have some interruptions here for a wide variety of reasons, but I thought I'd give a little 2 or 3 turn update. I've been doing these little snapshots online and not online, but 1 or 2 minute vignettes, and I thought a little bit more comprehensive approach might be nice for those folks that like to listen to something a little slower pace than my high-speed Aussie staccato. Anyway, looking from north to south, we'll try and go through the map and sort of recap the last couple of turns. We are about to begin the Soviet 8th of May movement, and their activities around Belgorod have been pretty interesting. The 297th Division, you can see there, supported by a couple other regiments, have crossed the river and threatened Belgorod, and the timely arrival of the 168th Infantry Regiment there for the Germans allowed them to literally block that hex and put a zone of control there and slow things down. And then I used the 75th. You can see that arrow there. The 75th attacked. Coming from here across the river, attacked and managed to force these guys back and put a step loss on them, use the artillery to support. Over here, I had sent 3rd Panzer in this way to sort of plink away at this group of forces, 6th Guard and other units, to sort of peck away at we'll call this the Kharkov stream or river. Here, they just got the snot smacked out of them and were sent running. I pulled a pretty average chit for a B class unit and paid the price. The forces were they attacked, did okay, made some retreats happen, things like that, but then the Soviets counterattacked and pushed the Germans back. So the Germans decided to retreat this way to cover the southern portion of Belgorod. The rest of 75th is over here doing a holding action. And the cat, unfortunately, I caught the cat on the table yesterday, and it's the first time she has done that. And some units are a little bit skewed here. I don't know if the plex has moved or whether I'm just bouncing things around, but her tail was gently laid across here, and I very politely and calmly asked her to remove herself, and she did so without too much disruption by the looks of it. Anyway, thoughtful cat. Here, Germans took some step losses in order not to retreat, then were attacked again. There was a consolidated effort here that forced a DR2, and here also forced retreats, and what we did was then push some units back up into here. It's probably not a good move. In fact, I may reconsider this move for the 71st because they'll end up being surrounded and chewed up. So we might put these guys back here. Just do a little do over there and call it bygones. Let's see, further down here, I had mentioned to everybody that in one of the videos that the 23rd Panzer was going to be brave, and they raced down here to support the 44th Division, and they were going to go gangbusters in here and do big things, and they didn't. And here's why. One, a couple of the attacks that went on around here worked out quite okay and would have been nice if we could have done some follow-up with the 23rd Panzer. But further to the west, you can see Soviet units basically milling around aimlessly all the way over at Velki here, taking Velki, threatening the western approaches to Kharkov, and almost looking to completely encircle Kharkov and cut off 6th Army, which would not be cool. It'd be very Stalingrad-esque, just a little early. So the challenge for them, of course, is the Soviets, that is keeping a route, which would be this main road here at the moment, and keeping this route open for supply for these guys, which they currently are. Although there is the 113th Division has moved up, along with support from 213th, and could potentially counterattack in this way and try and cut supply. But that would also require some effort along this route, this road. There's a road that meanders in around here as well. Hope that's visible to you. So the Soviets are spreading out, putting zones of control along this the 6th Army and Group Bobkin, artificial army boundary here in this stream. They're doing that. We'll see what happens. There's not enough depth of force for the Axis to really do very much at the moment on the 8th of May. There are reinforcements coming. And there's actually, let me just put the camera down for a sec, because I know I'm wobbling around here, but I don't have it on the dolly. I've just got it on my little mini stands. We're going to set this guy down on top of guys. Will he stand up? Probably not. We have turn 3. We took those reinforcements. I think we have, 2 14th Panzer and 388th Infantry are coming on turn 7, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on turn 5, so 2 turns from now. I know, and I don't know where they're coming in. I can't read it from here. So that could help. 2 extra divisions would be huge, particularly if they're decently rated. I think they're what are they? They're red, so that's going to be good. They're both red units, so they'll get red chits versus blue chits, and red chits are significantly better. All right, now, so that's what this to me is where the game is at the moment. This sort of tactical. Let me just get the camera out without smashing units everywhere. I know that's a bit wonky, but bear with me. So this is really kind of the meat of the game right here. Can the Soviets build a channel? I'll call it a channel. Capture Novoya here. I can't see that other word. I think it's Vodolga potentially here. I can't read the word fully. It's got terrain markings underneath it. It makes it hard to see. So if they could capture this, that would secure this road. They need to keep this road open as well if the Soviets want to continue around and look to cut things off here. They would have to get all the way around to Zolobachev here, or Zolochev here, I should say. Not Zolobachev, Zolochev. Another 5 VPs. And that would put everybody in out of supply, potentially out of, and put them into isolation mode. Things could get ugly. So that has to not happen for the Germans to be anywhere near an opportunity to be successful. Excuse me while I take a drink. And then the southern portion of the map, things have gone extremely slowly here. And I think primarily weather has played a factor. The 8th of May is actually going to be another rain mud turn, or just a mud turn. I'd have to double check on that. I think mud, just mud. And I've got to double check that I've done everything correctly for the rain mud rolls, just to be sure. But down here, the biggest issue has been SP, or supply points, or support points. So we have, for the first few turns, only 6th Army up in the north could take supply points, and we had a couple down here that we did use to make some attacks and pushed a little bit. So we picked up a couple of bits and pieces here and there, but in order to fully take advantage of this formation here, this veteran formation here in the 971 and 101st Jaeger formation here, for us to take advantage of them, we need a handful of SP to be able to execute attacks. And basically, as I've positioned myself to attack, the Soviets have kind of inched back a little bit to their VP, secured VP locations, such that they don't want to get engaged at the moment. They don't want to be surrounded or anything like that. So there were a couple of units in here that didn't have zones of control, and so we were not ideally placed. And so we have pulled the Soviets back to more interlocking zones of control to try and protect things. Anyway, that's kind of what's going on. That's the full shooting match here. We'll see how the whole thing unravels or unwinds, as the case may be. I am trying to keep decent notes on every combat to make sure that we don't make too many errors. It's all pretty straightforward, and as I've said on Mo's game table Whiskey Charlie chat, I'm enjoying the completeness of the game, number one. And number two, I'm enjoying Spring Prelude's artwork, and the rule book is clean. And this hypothetical scenario is pretty interesting. It's obviously very different from the historical. So we're just going to have fun with that and see where it takes us. And I'm probably going to come out of this at some point, in the next 5, 6, 7 turns with a verdict on the game. And I'm almost certain it'll be positive unless I strike some kludgy flaw or issue that I haven't identified yet. Anyway, all the best. Talk to you soon. Roll dice. It's Thursday evening. So there you go. Ciao.